is looking at you, kid.
I'm Charles Foster Kane! Hey, Stella!
Suck on this.
What is happening, everybody? James Hancock here. Today, I'm joined by the great Becky D'Anna, who just returned from San Diego Comic-Con, and she's going to help us break down some of the exciting announcements in the world of film and television, while also recapping some of her own personal experiences. But I'll just dive in with the most important question of all. Did you come down with the dreaded Comic-Con flu? But more importantly, how was your Comic-Con experience overall?
It was great. I've never got the dreaded Comic-Con flu. You've gotten it before, haven't you?
I definitely have. Yeah, no, it'll get you. It'll sneak.
Yeah, I mean, knock on wood. I don't know if this is wood, but this is my 19th Comic-Con. It would be my 21st if they had one in 2020 and 21, but they did not. So it's 19 for me. So next year will be the big 20 for me. But I have actually never gotten sick out of Comic-Con ever. I'm really lucky, and I feel like I just curse myself by saying that. But
yeah, so what are your tools for survival then? Like, how do you keep your immune system on? Because if you're sharing the same air with a couple thousand people over a couple of days, if somebody's got cooties, you're going to inhale it.
Oh yeah, you know what's fascinating? I was just thinking about this the other day because I was, sometimes you're in a situation where it's like you're in a crowd and it's wall to wall, and then someone's coughing in your face or someone's breathing, and I remember actually thinking this time, it's kind of insane that I haven't gotten sick because people are talking and breathing and everything all around me, and not everyone's like 100%. And sometimes you don't even know you're sick. Like you might have something, and then in the next day your symptoms will develop. So, but I don't know. I just having a rock star immune system, I guess. And then a few years ago, I think it was 2001 or 2022, maybe it was the year where I got a COVID 2 weeks before Comic-Con. And so I rose like a phoenix like 3 days before Comic-Con started. So I felt like really amazing because my immune system was great. But I've luckily I've known for people that have gotten like COVID out of Comic-Con or, Comic-Con flu, but I have not. So I'm very lucky. And I don't know. I guess it's all the Pepsi I drink. Apparently it's a nice antidote.
Yeah, I saw you posting some image of your breakfast of champions, which included cookies and Pepsi. I was like, well, that sounds like a great way to end up in the emergency room with
So it's funny. So I've started, I think it's like 10 plus years now where I do this ritual on Sunday morning where I have the Sunday morning Comic-Con Breakfast of Champions, which is a Mrs. Fields cookie and a Pepsi. And so it's just something that a lot of people that follow me online like expect me to do. So Sunday morning, I just always post a picture of me with the cookie and the Pepsi. And it's like, I'll have friends be like, when's your picture going to be posting and stuff. So it sounds crazy, but I love my Pepsi and chocolate chip cookie. And I always go on a Comic-Con diet every year. So when I get to Comic-Con, I'm like, let's go. And then I can start having like cookies and Pepsi. But I know it's something that, I love sugar. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't have a sweet tooth. I like grease and salt.
Yes.
But big picture, how was Comic-Con this year overall compared to the many other Comic-Cons you've attended in the past?
So a few people have asked me that, and I've said it was euphoric as always. But I would say if I compare the Comic-Con in the last few years, it wasn't like my favorite one of all time. Like it was really great. I had an amazing time, but it's funny. I think one of my favorite ones of the last few years was the year of the strike. I mean, that strike, the SAG strike, which everyone was like, oh, this is going to be the worst Comic-Con ever because no actors are here or whatever. But I just did different things. And then, the studios just got more creative with what they showed. And I remember the Star Trek Universe panel that
people
year.
were forced to actually talk about comics. It's like,
yes.
Comic-Con, maybe we should buy some comics.
The floor was busier. People got more sales. But then also I remember the Star Trek Universe panel, they actually showed like a full episode, which was exciting. And there was things like that. So I had an amazing year that year. That was kind of a phenomenal year, which I thought was going to be the worst year. And it ended up being one of my favorites. But every year is sort of different. It's like what fandom emerges and things like that, especially for me, because I end up falling in love with different things. But this year was great. I absolutely loved it. But I would say it's I've had, like, I think last year I had more fun probably. And then there was less Star Trek stuff this year than, I mean, obviously I'm a big Trekker, like I love Star Trek. So, and as there's shows on the air, there's usually a lot more stuff about and about. One interesting thing is because Paramount just got sold and they're kind of a mess right now. They just don't have their stuff together. And every year, one of my favorite things is Paramount puts out a few days before, even a week before, this like newsletter that's like, here's all the Trek stuff. Like, here's the panel, here's special things we're doing, here's where all the exclusives are going to be and what booth. And I print it out like a Bible, and it's great. Like, I know where to go. This was the first year in, I think, maybe 10 years that they didn't do it. And I think it's because they're kind of they like let go a lot of people.
That they're all in on Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They just got like 1.5 billion to keep making more South Park.
Yeah, that could be
South Park is good to go. Everything else is up in the air.
Yeah, I just think honestly, there's just been a lot of layoffs, and whoever did that newsletter or whatever, I just don't think they got it together to put it out because it was interesting because I had to be on a hunt for okay, I want to go here to get a Star Trek thing. Maybe you usually have something at this booth, but it was interesting. It was nice to have that Bible before, and I hope that when they get it together this year, that they'll start reissuing it. So,
well, speaking of newsletters. Due to your influence and advice, I recently discovered the podcast The Town, hosted by the legendary Matthew Bellany. And I know that you have an equal level of admiration for his expertise and his observations, but both on his amazing show as well as in his newsletter, he's been throwing a little shade on Comic-Con. And here's, for people who are just listening and not watching, here's a screen grab where he said, "Welcome to what I'm hearing, happily not coming to you from Comic-Con, the worst place in the world." So I'm going to give you an opportunity here to be first to push back. Not that I disagree with him, but you might.
Yeah.
Do you want to push back on his characterization on this annual event that you love so dearly?
Yes. I will like to push back. And actually, I'm going to push back more, not on this statement, actually. I'm going to push back on what he said on his podcast, the Fantastic Four episode. But it's a two-parter, so get ready.
Okay.
First of all, this statement, it's fine. Like, it's all, I'm just saying, like, it's all relative. Like, I'm not going to say that he can't think this is the worst place in the world. I don't agree with him, but like, I think Las Vegas is the worst place in the world. A lot of people would disagree with me. A lot of people love Las Vegas. I think it's like a hellscape. So if he thinks Comic-Con's a hellscape and he is not happy with it, it's all relative. It's fine with him. He can think whatever he wants. And then the next thing I want to say is that I adore Matt Bellany. I am obsessed with The Town. I talked to you about it. I convinced you to do the newsletter. I worship kind of in a way. I just think he's just like walks on water. I am obsessed with him. So I'm a little bummed that he said something like this, but whatever, it's fine. Again, this is relative, but I think I'm more bummed and I don't agree with what he said on his podcast. So a few days ago, last week, he did a Fantastic Four episode, and then he just went off on Comic-Con at the very end. But more so, like, it was, I think he essentially called it, I had wrote it down. Because I have to actually refer to this because I think
he was using words like sad and desperate and things.
Yeah, like that. I think that's it. So, wait, where is it? I wrote a whole thing. Sorry, I didn't find it. Well, I think it's like he called it a marketing convention or something, and he's like, it's like a marketing, like this is just like essentially a marketing convention, which I find fascinating because for a few things.
He's not entirely wrong. I mean, they are unveiling trailers and making announcements.
Exactly. But there's nothing wrong with marketing. Like, marketing is what makes people see things. That's the fabric of our society and business. Like, in order to get to know,
if you go to an AMC theater and you get 30 minutes of commercials before 30 minutes of trailers, then marketing might be a tad excessive.
Sure, but in order to know anything about anything, first of all, I'm in marketing for one, but in order to know movies or TV shows or the newest car or whatever, you have to do marketing. And I think when filmmakers make movies, they want people to know about them, not just grassroots efforts. And I also think it's fascinating that he goes to CinemaCon every year, which is essentially exactly the same thing. It's a marketing convention. They market their movies to exhibitors and press, and they also do giveaways. They give away, this year, they gave away a Stitch plush and T-shirts and things like that. I think what he has an issue with is
Comic-Con
the audience.
Without the fans. It's also Comic-Con with better food, and it's Comic-Con with no lines. So, if you're going to go to the San Diego Comic-Con, you will be eating chili dogs and nachos for a couple of days, and you'll be standing in a lot of lines. When you go to CinemaCon, You just stroll on in, watch a couple hours of presentations, and then go back to your VIP lounge and have your coffee and, do all the things that he likes to do when it comes to networking and pressing the flesh and all that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is I think his problem isn't with what the marketing of it, which is what he said. I think his problem is the audience is what the problem is, which is not. Which I'm just saying is not what he. That's what he's saying. He's saying it's a marketing, but doesn't make any sense because marketing is great, and then also that. The problem is that marketing is like he's marketed too. So it's just really the audience. So I just think it's a deeply cynical thing to say. And that's why I'm bummed because reality is the people that go to Comic-Con, like everybody is sort of has their own fandom. A lot of these people, the filmmakers, people that create art, people that create TV shows and movies, are fans in itself. They start off. James Cameron was like obsessed with 2001 and wanted to be the next John Carpenter and loved Star Wars. Like people who end up becoming filmmakers and writers and all these, they have their own fandoms. And then I don't know how many times I've been in Hall H and the filmmaker up on the Hall H stage is like, "Hey, I was one of you. I was actually in the Hall H line 3 years ago, and I was sitting out there when this happened." So
Ryan Coogler said that early on when he was making his first Black Panther presentation.
Yeah, and the guy that did Predator Badlands at the panel this year was talking about like 8 years in a row he did whatever. But I'm just saying, like, again, this is what fandom is, and like these people are start off as fans, and that's what's fun. And to hear, so I just think in general what I'm saying is I'm calling him out on his real problem is the audience. It's not what it is, because I think so. I just want to say that these are my people, and if you don't like, it's fine. That I think that that everyone's can have their own fandom and appreciate it and love it, and these filmmakers are people that way as well. So I don't agree with his thinking it's a disparaging.
It reminds me of that scene from The Player when they're talking about trying to get rid of screenwriters or eliminating screenwriters from the creative process.
Yeah.
And then Tim Robbins like, if we could just get rid of the actors, you might be onto something. Sounds like Matthew Bell, and he's like, well, if we could just get rid of the audience, we might be onto something. It's like a little bit like that show, was it Faulty Towers that John Cleese had, where he loved running his hotel, except for the fact that there were guests that stayed there. They were constantly mucking the place up, and the hotel would be so much more fun to run if he didn't have to deal with any actual customers.
Right. Well, that's exactly it. It's exactly it. So I just think that's his real issue. So that's what I just wanted to say my piece there. Again, it's fine if he thinks it's the worst place. Like, that's relative. I think I'm more upset about the using like, oh, it's marketing, because that's like a cop out, and that's not really it. I think his real problem is the audience, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, also cynical people love to make fun of people who are overly earnest and sincere.
Yeah.
But as somebody who is a little cynical, I'll say this about Comic-Con. For some people, they save all year to create their costume, or they save all year for their hotel or their travel. And when they finally get into Hall H and watch 9 hours of presentations of their, ostensibly their favorite shows and movies and that sort of thing, it's a major highlight for them. So it's easy to be cynical when you don't feel like dealing with the BO and the halitosis and the bad food and all that stuff. But for some people, it is fucking Woodstock. And so I think people just need to keep in mind that it's fine if you don't want to go, but you don't necessarily need to take a shit from a great height on the people who are having the time of their lives, on an annual basis.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's actually eloquently put, Jamie.
Beautiful. That's why I'm here. All right. So before we dive into some of the flicks and shows that you got exposed to at Comic-Con, let's first just plug and promote anything that you're working on. Is there anything coming up that you would like to make a vague announcement for, or any events that you attended that you just want to give a shout out to on the channel?
Yeah. So I am going to host my very own podcast. It's been a dream of mine for a long time, and it's actually happening. It's very exciting. However, it is not something that I can announce on this show. I believe there will be an announcement of the podcast next week, at the end of next week, I believe. That's a plan. So I can't tell you who the show is for, what it's about, when it's launching, but
if they follow you on Twitter or AKA X, I'm sure they will see an announcement.
But I can say that it's really exciting new show. I developed it. I'm really, really proud of it. It's a dream come true. And there will be more information about it, I believe, as soon as next week. So just pay attention to my socials, and I will promote whatever the announcements are and let you know, hopefully, who's making the show, who's starring on the show, and everything. But the thing that I can tell you is I have a show and I'm hosting it. And actually, I'm going to be hosting it with John Laubinger, who is one of my favorite podcasters of all time. I was able to get him to be my co-host, so he brings out the best in me. I adore him, so I can say that he and I are hosting a show together. I'm really proud of it, and just pay attention to our socials, and we will announce it.
Yeah, and I'll leave a link to your social media feeds down below in the
Yeah.
description. But yeah, Laubinger, I first discovered him through you when he was hosting Film Baby Film, and he came on Wrong Reel quite a few times.
Yeah.
We tackled like Preston Sturgis, Ernst Lubitsch, and he was on my end of the year, like the best of 2024 episode with Marcus and Bill Scurry. So anyway, great guy. I look forward to seeing what y'all have cooking in the oven.
Yeah, and he's everything I hoped he would be. He's better podcaster than me. He's amazing. I love him. I'm so excited that he can be doing this with me. I'm very excited about the show, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear it. We've already recorded our first 2 episodes, and the first one especially, we couldn't have asked for a better episode. I think it's gold, and and not on my end, on the guest we have on the show is just gold. So I cannot wait for you guys to see it. And I think that everybody that's a listener of the show will be interested in what we cover. And I'm very excited.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, let's dive into Comic-Con itself.
Yeah.
Let's start with your favorite event. So I know you typically go to Hall H on Saturday. Yeah. Did you do the same thing this year, or what do you want to talk about first?
Yeah. So I did Hall H. I actually was able to do Hall H on Friday afternoon and half of Saturday, which is a big deal because typically I'm in line all day on Friday. To get in a wristband at the end of the night on Friday to get into Hall H on Saturday. So I'm not able to do anything in Hall H on Friday or really anything else because
were the lines more manageable due to the lack of Marvel or DC making a presentation?
Yeah, so that's why. So typically when Marvel is there, they do the last panel of the day or the second to last panel of the day. Sometimes Kevin Smith's the last panel on a Saturday, which means a lot of people who really care about Marvel will sit through anything that happens on Saturday just to get to see the Marvel panel at the end of the day. But that usually means, just so you know, Hall H seats 6,500 people. That's a lot of people. So sometimes when you're in line in the Hall H line, you're like, I'm no way I'm getting in, or this is crazy. And you have to remind yourself that it's thousands of people that get in. So even though you think you're so far behind in line, you still might get in. Although there are years where you don't get in and it's crushing and you really do have to wait in line. So, but because once they announced Marvel wasn't going to be there, everyone sort of knew that it wasn't going to be crazy. And there was talk of like, can you just walk in on Saturday? You couldn't just walk in on Saturday. I know someone, I ran into them yesterday who was really bummed, who loves Star Trek, that wasn't able to just walk in on the Star Trek panel. She got in line at 11 a.m. on Saturday. The panel started at 12:30. She didn't get in until Star Trek was over. Everyone left after Star Trek, and then they had the Peacemaker panel. So she was able to get in for that, but missed what she really cared about. Yeah. So you couldn't just walk in. Even an hour and a half before is not going to work. But you could technically have gotten in line Saturday morning at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and probably have gotten in, which is unheard of if Marvel was it was there. But so the reason why, so what's cool is I did wait in line Friday night to get a wristband just to guarantee, even though I didn't really have to, but I was only in line for like an hour. It was great. And I got my wristband, pretty shortly. So I was able to get home by 7:30, which is insane. So it's not like a normal Comic-Con where I get home at 1 a.m. after getting a wristband. It's a whole thing. But because of that, I got to go to some of the stuff on Friday because I wasn't in line all day. So the Friday, they had some movie panels, and also they typically do TV on Friday in Hall H and movies on Saturday, but they really kind of mixed it up this year. So this Friday Hall H, they did Long Walk and Predator Badlands and Tron. And
speaking of the Long Walk, did you catch my deep tease or my reference in the name that I have for this video?
Oh, I didn't catch it actually because I'm like, I actually was like talking to Michael, he's the one helping me with the show, our producer for the show today. He is so funny. I'm like, oh my God, Jamie always has a name and I never know what the hell's happening. So is this the Mark Hamill character?
No. It's the main character. Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is Raymond Garrity, number 47. And I've got my copy of The Long Walk right here, which I read earlier this year. Damn good read. when Stephen King had his Richard Bachman persona, basically he was publishing so many books that he basically had to create a separate identity so he wouldn't flood or oversaturate the market with Stephen King books. And Long Walk might be the best of the Bachman books, and it's really gnarly, really savage. And I've got a little teaser here for anybody who has not yet seen the trailer.
All for one! And one for all!
The only guarantee you have as a human being is that you are going to die.
So why no interest in Stephen King's The Long Walk on your end?
No, I'm very excited. Why did you think I had no interest?
Oh, just you seem to be no-selling it, or kind of a...
No, I didn't. I don't know it well enough to know the character name. That's why. I actually am really excited about it. I can't remember. There's like 3 Stephen King adaptations that have come out this year, or maybe 4. This is one, The Monkey,
we had,
and there was another
Life
one.
of Chuck.
Life
we
of
had
Chuck.
The Monkey, and
there
then
was one.
And we also have The Running Man coming out in November.
The Running Man. That's that. So there's 4
it's a
this year.
huge year for Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah. So far, I love Life of Chuck. I absolutely love The Monkey. This movie looks extraordinary. J.T. Molnar wrote the script based on the story. And he did Strange Darling, which I absolutely loved. It was my top 10. I think it was last year. Was it last year? And so I'm already like all in on that. This story looks, I love Stephen King. Everything looks great. What was great about the panel was they showed us the first 22 minutes of the movie, which was amazing. And actually that's a trend that happened this year. Multiple panels showed us first 20 minutes, first 5 minutes, first 15 minutes of the movie. That's not normal. Typically they'll show clips or they'll show a sizzle piece or a trailer.
Yeah, and it can be disastrous if what they show sucks.
Yeah, and also you have to really believe in the first, beginning of the movie, because sometimes it takes a long time for it to get going in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And maybe it's not what you want. But multiple panels showed from the minute one, you see the movie company logo. They showed us the first 20 minutes, whatever, and it was great. And one thing they did, which was interesting for Long Walk, was because the Hall H audience is supposed to be like a family friendly audience, and there could be kids there. They only did it once, but there's a scene where they essentially said, "Hey, this is pretty graphic and intense."
You're about to watch some 18-year-old boys get executed.
Yeah. So they said when there's going to be a part where something's going to happen and we're going to go to black, and it's not going to go to black in the movie. You have to see the movie to see it. So there's a scene where someone gets shot and it immediately goes to black for a second. So clearly they show the person getting executed, but I thought that was it was pretty kind of cool. In one way, it was like, hey, you want to see this, go to the theater. But I think they also were being respectful of like, hey, maybe some 8-year-old kid doesn't want to see someone's head blown off or whatever. Well, but it was interesting. I've never seen that happen. I was
watching Conan at age 5, so I'm made of stronger stuff.
I agree. Never got sensitive from everything. I think I saw Fatal Attraction when I was 9, and I don't know. That Twilight Zone scene where Albert Brooks is like, when they were like, I want to see something really scary. I saw that at 6, and that scared the crap out of me. So
singing his heart out with Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, and then
the Midnight Special. I said singing his heart out with Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, it's a great scene. It's incredible.
Yeah. And
look at her clothes. Yeah,
so all sorts of stuff. So
for people who don't know,
visiting hours.
The premise is a pretty cool one. Not so distant future, dystopian environment, and one of the few opportunities that some people have if you're a late teen with few jobs, few prospects, etc. You can sign up for the Long Walk, where 100 kids just start walking, have to maintain a certain pace. If you drop below that pace, you get a warning, and upon your 3rd warning, you get executed. But if you walk a certain amount of time without getting a warning, the warnings will fall off. So the walk takes days and days and days, and it's just like the ultimate endurance test, because also in order to pass the time, inevitably you're going to start talking to the people you're doing the long walk with, but you're also competing against them and hoping to outlast them. So it becomes this amazing survival tale and exercise in psychology, and it's as grim and dark and relentless as anything Stephen King ever wrote.
Yeah, and I guess you get to know these characters, start caring about them, and then obviously
some are total bastards.
Oh yeah, and then there's one left, so I think that's really gripping. They said that if you fall under 3 miles an hour, then that's when you get a warning.
Like, let's say you're getting a blister and you pause to retie your shoes. Like, warning number 47, first warning. And then anyway, and some of them enjoy having multiple warnings, so they don't have to worry about getting more warnings. Like, everybody's got their own system, but it is It's dark.
Yeah, it looks like harrowing stuff. Like something I'm all in. Again, now that I'm a big JT Molnar stan after Strange Darling, I would be in
awesome.
just because he wrote the script. But Mark Hamill plays like kind of a really dark character. He's not walking at all. He's in like this Jeep the whole time. But he actually talked. He was on the panel and he mentioned how like he said this wasn't a type of movie that he would normally be in because he said like it's kind of dystopian and not something that he would normally gravitate to, but he thought that the script was so amazing and he wanted to do it. And he was great, and the panel was really exciting. I'm all in, and again, the first 22 minutes, I'm all in to see the first 22 minutes again to watch the movie. It comes out.
Everybody keeps talking about how September is kind of a nothing month in terms of big releases. The Long Walk drops right in the middle of September, so it has a chance to have very little competition. So we shall see what we shall see.
Yeah. Oh, and then one other tidbit they gave is that they said that the actors walked like 30,000 steps a day, almost every day when they did the shot. Oh, and Mark Hamill specifically said he's not sure he would see this movie, much less be in it, but he was really sold by the script. That's
okay.
What he said. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what he means by not wanting to see it. It's like, do you not like Stephen King adaptations? Like he's
No,
probably the most prolific idea factory of any writer of the last 50 years. Like if you think of the number of great movies and the number of great shows based on his original material, nobody has written more stuff that's been adapted than Stephen King. So it's like,
I think it was more so on like how harrowing the subject matter is probably why maybe something he wouldn't gravitate towards seeing. That's how I took it. Not on like, oh, I don't like Stephen King stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. Well, what else did you see in Hall H that got you excited?
So, in general or that day?
Oh, the floor is yours. I'll go wherever you want to go.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'll just that the other thing that day was just because it's really quick is Predator Badlands. That was a thing that they showed us I think it was the first 20 minutes in the movie. That was another one which was crazy. Is it? Oh no, they showed us the first 15 minutes of the film, which I actually liked. Okay, so here's the thing. This is a
confession time.
I've never seen Predator.
I mean, saying you haven't seen Predator for me, maybe everybody won't agree, but it's like saying you haven't seen Alien or you haven't seen RoboCop or you haven't seen Blade Runner. Like there's certain like seminal sci-fi movies of the 70s, 80s, and 90s where we were growing up. Why? And I know you're an Arnold fanatic. Terminator 2 is your favorite movie. Why would Predator not be on your must-watch list as a young lady?
I don't know. It's weird. I think I saw the Predator versus Alien Fox.
It's dreadful.
Which was awful.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
But I'm talking about childhood, like when you're like a little girl going to the
I don't know.
store.
I just, for some reason, I was a sci-fi. Well, this is sci-fi, so that's not really a good cop out. I was going to say like, oh, I didn't see some of it.
Yeah, it's an alien killing people.
I know. But for some reason, like, I don't know. There was a few. There's actually more than one Arnold Schwarzenegger of his films that I haven't seen.
If you say Conan the Barbarian, I'm ending the show now.
It is. Okay.
Never seen Conan.
No.
While I recover from my shock and horror, I'm going to show 11 seconds from Predator Badlands, which I think looks dreadful. And the big news on Saturday was that they went in and added to Predator Killer of Killers, the animated movie that was made for Hulu. They added a little final tease where they show the characters from Predator 1, 2, and Prey kind of frozen. It's a cartoon. It's actually, no, I have a copy of that image right here.
Have you seen this? I haven't seen this.
Yeah, it had its defenders and its fans, but I thought it was a pretty limp and lifeless animated movie. And granted, you can only kill the Predator but so many times before he stops becoming a threat. And in the context of this movie, you see 3 different characters beating the shit out of Predators before they're taken off to the Predator homeworld to battle in a gladiatorial arena. I'm like, but you've already seen the Predators die like one after another. Like, stop defanging and declawing what should be the universe's greatest Predator. And in the first Predator movie, I would say that's a strong contender for the best action movie I've ever seen, because you have the world's biggest badasses kicking all kinds of butt for like 30, 40 minutes before they even meet the Predator. And then he starts picking them off one at a time. And it's an absolute masterpiece of action and horror. And so in sci-fi, I love it to pieces. So I'm judging all the subsequent Predators not
Sure.
not on a curve, but in comparison to one of my all-time favorite movies. And I love Predator 2 with Danny Glover. I don't like it quite as much as the first, but it kicks much ass. But I've never seen another Predator movie since that I like in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened and why I skipped this film and never went back to revisit it. And I don't know. I just somehow I missed the original Predator and then some other one that
Well, the
we
good
dream of.
news is I won't shame you for it, but the good news is you have an incredible movie-going experience lying in wait for you whenever you
Yeah,
choose
that's
to
what I always
take
tell
the
people
opportunity.
too, is like I don't get on people for not seeing stuff because I'm like, well, you just get to see this for the first time. How exciting. I just never remedied that for some reason. And yeah, especially since I was obsessed with Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, well, more so in the Terminator films and stuff, obviously, but I just never went back. But one thing was interesting about this film, the unique thing element, which I don't know how, again, I actually asked the wrong real crew because we have like a whole direct messaging team of like a little group. And I'm like, hey, what'd you guys think of it? Because I'm recording with Jamie and they didn't seem too excited about it. But there's no humans in this movie, which is interesting. And it's essentially like a young Predator, and he's teaming up with a robot. So
Yeah, and every time Elle Fanning speaks, I basically like they need to remove all of her dialogue from the trailer because every time she opens her mouth, I'm like, well, this is a movie that I'm not planning on seeing. And she's so sing-songy and so anyway, so annoying. In any event, I will see
but
the
that's not
movie.
her. That's this character, or do you just not like
Her
her?
character in the context of the trailer
Oh, okay.
is insanely annoying, and so
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't
I
mind
will
her.
drag myself wearily to see it, and I'm sure I'll I'll have a proper temper tantrum as I'm reviewing it. But I would say my anticipation for it is roughly at like 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10 at
I like
best.
that. I like that you're still going to see it though. I actually am interested in seeing it. But again, I don't have all the baggage that comes with. It's not
It's
baggage.
not baggage; it's a
It's not.
privilege having
Yes.
experienced Predator
I'm
many,
sorry.
many times over.
I should have used different words, just like Matt Bellany should have used different words. But yeah, I probably should have not said it that way. But yeah, I don't come with loving the originals. And I'm sure one day I will love it and be like, what was I doing? But I'm interested in seeing. I think it looks interesting, but I get why a lot of people don't think it looks great. But the
Well,
first
it's
thing
gonna
to
be one
me
of
was
those things where there will be some people who like it the same way some people liked Alien Romulus last summer. And when they
yeah.
start hearing Alien fans complaining, well, it's like, every Alien review is always the same. Like, this is all well and good, but nothing will ever approach Alien or Aliens. And you get this pushback where they're like, when will all the Alien fans just die so we don't have to listen to their complaints? I'm like, don't feel threatened by the fact that you have not seen or don't appreciate a really, really good movie. It always blows my mind that people like, they'll cling in desperation to a subpar show or movie, and they don't want to hear that there's a book or a show or a movie
Yeah.
that is superior. I'm like, just enjoy the better thing. Like, stop feeling so threatened. But I'm sure the exact same thing will happen with Predator Badlands. There will be people who love it who will have never seen another Predator movie, and they're going to get really annoyed that there are people out there that are talking about how the original movie is actually good.
Yeah, and so Elle Fanning plays an android, and then one of the one also unique thing they mention is that, not unique, but that they really focus on practical effects. Everything's very practical, which is interesting and cool. I mean, that's what we want. So they were really playing against people in costumes and things like that. And the director also was a massive comic book fan or just a movie fan. He talked about how the last, I think it was the last 8 years he was there for in Hall H himself.
Dan Trachtenberg. And
Yeah,
apparently
so
he
that was
has met
fun.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger about possibly being involved with the Predator franchise again in like a cameo or something like that. But
Yeah.
Trachtenberg, what was the second Cloverfield movie? Was it Cloverfield? Not Paradox, but what was the second one with John Goodman when they're in the underground bunker? That's another one of those movies.
I can't remember that name. I like that one. That was really good. I don't remember the name. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't. One of my first big online fights was when I had the audacity to criticize the movie, and somebody threatened to come to my home in New York and attack me physically.
Because you didn't like it? Oh my god!
I thought it was good for like half of it until they actually emerged from the bunker, and then it just turned into a silly science fiction.
Was it half, or was that that was kind of the end? Right?
2/3. But anyway, but the ending was so subpar that it eradicated all the goodwill that had been built up. Was it Mary Elizabeth Winstead who was the hero?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, it made such a profound impression on both of us, and neither of us can remember the title of the movie. But what else you got for me?
Yeah, I guess that, I mean, then they had the Tron was great. Like, I only got to see the first half hour of the panel because I had to leave to get into the Hall H line because I promised I had like this group of that we had to get in. So I only got to see the first half hour, but it started off really cool. I actually posted it online, and I'm sure you could see anywhere how it started with the light cycle.
Yeah, I was going to include your video that you sent me, but I was worried about the music getting flagged and then the video not being able to be posted.
Right.
But it is a pretty wild light show where, like, you know, all these crazy neon lights and soldiers walking in. But give us the gist. What is the story of Tron Ares? And do you find Jared Leto dreamy, or are you indifferent to his physical appeal?
I'm indifferent. I don't find him. I mean, he's a good looking guy. I find.
What was that show that he did in the late '90s that all the girls went?
Oh, So-Called Life.
Yeah, my little sister loved My So-Called Life.
I don't know why. He's a good looking guy. I find a lot of people dreamy, so it's kind of weird that he's not someone that I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe he's in it. He apparently plays like a program, like not a human being, someone who's like the so I think that's interesting in this is that and then I think he wants to live or something.
To be a real boy.
He wants to be a real boy.
Well, speaking of which, I've got a little clip here from the trailer all about the very dreamy Jared Leto.
I would like you to meet Ares, the ultimate soldier. He's biblically strong, lightning fast, supremely intelligent.
Now, I don't want to talk too much smack about him because he's an MMA fan and he goes to the climbing wall at my gym periodically. So I feel like his heart's in the right place. But as a performer, I must admit that I'm indifferent to his appeal as a performer and as a dreamboat. But I will see Tron Ares. I've seen the original movie a few times, and I saw Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tron Ares is going to be on the level. I mean, because Tron Legacy was directed by Joseph Kosinski, who obviously exploded in recent years. This new one is directed by Joachim Roning, if I'm saying his name correctly, who did Maleficent, Mistress Evil, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. I worry that it's just going to be kind of a run-of-the-mill franchise extension, not much more. Whereas whether they were completely successful or not, I feel like the first Tron and Tron Legacy were aspiring to be these truly visionary, immersive sci-fi experiences.
Yeah.
Where this new movie just feels like probably just going to be an action movie. But what were your impressions from the presentation?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was cool what they did, like the huge light show. So I think that like the promotion of the film and what they did with Hall H was exciting. It just definitely got you pumped up with the lights. They usually don't do like a full-on light show and things like that. And then the key selling point is that 9 Inch Nails did the soundtrack, and so and I think the part after I left, apparently they did another sequence where they set it to the music, which is supposed to be a compelling thing. But also the light cycle they had on the floor of the convention, and it was probably the biggest lines that they had where you could wait in line to sit on the light cycle to get a picture, and it looked really cool. I didn't do that, but I took a picture of somebody on the light cycle, so it'll be my Comic-Con photo diary. But it was like a thing that a lot of people wanted to do. It looks cool. I'm interested in seeing it. It's funny because they did show in the trailer the Flynn's Arcade, which is, if you know, in LA, there's a restaurant called Akasha in Culver City, and I work in Culver City. So I remember when Bill Scurry came out to LA, he's like, let's eat there. He was like so geeked out that we were eating in like where the exterior of Flynn's Arcade. But it's funny, they have a shot of it in the trailer, and I'm like, oh, there's Akasha. But it looks interesting. I'm interested in seeing it.
So will third time be the charm for Disney? Because Disney's been trying to make Tron a thing for a long time. Even the original movie really struggled to break even. Tron Legacy also struggled to break even. And I feel like Disney recognizes they've got something cool. It's got a passionate fan base, limited, but very passionate. Will they actually finally be able to make a successful movie? Like, will the most boring version of Tron ultimately end up being a hit, or will it struggle like its predecessors?
I don't know. From what I saw, I don't see it. It looked like it's going to be a breakthrough, like break across fans that aren't already, like, I feel like sci-fi fans might flock, but I can't see this film, being something that would drive just any movie fans to see. There's nothing particularly compelling about it. And again, unless you're like a Jared Leto stan, but I don't know how many people are like, I have to see the Jared Leto.
All the Morbius fans, they're going to come out in droves.
Oh my God. They made a comment about Morbius. I think that I forgot the interview and made some like snide remark, and he just took it in. He's like, thanks or something like that. I'm like, oof. Oh, I forgot to show this. They gave this to us at the Predator panel, which was like a full on and then they had
can we get a demo with the
yeah. It doesn't fit me. It's too big for my face.
Well, this is gonna be our thumbnail.
Actually, I just realized I have earphones on, so I can't do it. I can do it.
Send it to Moose Matson. He will be delighted.
Oh yeah, this is what it looks like. Yeah. So actually, I forgot about this. I was gonna should I start the thing off with wearing this?
I would approve.
Actually, it's too big for my face for some reason because I had to hold it up to take the photo. It slides right off my face. But they gave face huggers and that same in the panel last year, and these are really high-end masks too. When everybody was so jealous of the face huggers. So that was a big deal where they handed these out and they took a big selfie. But I just wanted to show that because it was kind of cool. But again, it's too big for my head and I have earphones.
Well, while we're on the subject of gifts, you mentioned before we started recording that you've got some swag. Do you want to show off any of the gifts or loot that you acquired?
Oh yeah. Experience? So this is cool. This is the making of Search for Spock book. It came with a little poster, which I don't know if you can see, but
I can see it. Yeah, it's
pretty badass. That was one of my favorite things I got. I also got this is cool. This is I got upset. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, sorry. This is great television, not great but podcasting because I'm off here. Let me see. Oh, so I went to this booth called Factory that makes prop replicas, and I got this She-Ra sort of protection. But here's this funny crazy about this. So they marketed it they did a few prop replicas that were for convention exclusives. So Wednesday night's preview night. It's great. It's 3 hours. That's usually where I get all my collectibles. I went over there and I'm I like to get the sort of protection. And they're okay. And they said, excuse me, she wants a sort of protection. So they get it out of the glass case. And then they told me they had some shipping issues. And apparently they only had 3 to sell that night, and I got the last one, and then they were sold out for the rest of the conference. But they promoted it they had this, and apparently because of shipping issues. But it's really cool. And another prop replica I got was which is really cool. It's a desktop viewer on the original series where they watch little footage on their desks. It's a Star Trek desktop viewer. So it's another cool prop replica. And then they upsold me. So I was excited because they had, this is really cheesy and I'm a big nerd. They had Halloween 2 Band-Aids. And okay, so I'm wearing a Halloween 2 shirt. I didn't buy this at the con. It's just a Fright Rag shirt that I'm obsessed with. As you people know, I love Halloween, but I'm also a big stan for Halloween 2. And a lot of people hate Halloween 2. I'm one of the people that love it. And I love that there's merchandise just for Halloween 2. So they had Halloween 2 Band-Aids. And I'm yes, I'm going to go.
Ever since Halloween Kills was released upon the world, I feel every other Halloween movie has aged considerably better or gone up in my estimation. So it's there's nowhere to go but up after Halloween Kills has been, inflicted on the world.
And one of my friends and I were always just every time we talk, we actually bought the Fright Rex, came out with a special Halloween 2 board game, and we did a whole day where we play the Halloween 2 board game, and we're justice for Ben Tramer, which if you love Halloween 2, you know Ben Tramer because that's a whole thing. But anyway, they upsold me because I got the Band-Aids and they're all, are you aware that we have a Halloween 2 bottle opener? I'm wait, what now? So I got a Michael Myers bottle opener. I don't even have things to open bottles with, but
you don't have Pepsi bottles?
Well, I could buy one, I guess.
Yeah, buy buy some glass Pepsi bottles.
This is so effing cool. A Michael Myers bottle opener. And then I also bought they had Universal Monsters Band-Aids, but I'm almost done because the other 3 more things that I thought were really cool. I got the exclusive Picard Hallmark ornament. They only made I think a handful of these, 3,200 of these. They used to make just 1701 of them because for the ship, but they didn't do that. They made 3,000.
And you just put all this shit in a man cave in your house, or does it all go in your office at Sony, or where does all this crap? Because you've gone to 20 Comic-Cons, you've accumulated a lot of toys over the years. What is the ultimate? Where does one view your collection?
some of it just doesn't go anywhere because I don't have anywhere to go. And my husband's like, no, but putting stuff out in like the house. I usually put it in my office. My office is smaller than it used to be. And I remember when I moved from Jimmy Stewart at Sony to Capra Building, I had 3 huge crates that was just all my collectibles. But my collectibles is mostly in my office just Terminator focused. There's a lot of Terminator, a lot of Trek, but I'll see. And then the other thing, which there's that we didn't get to, which was probably my favorite panel, the whole Comic-Con, which you're gonna make fun of me of, but whatever, is the love how like you can get into new fandoms. So my friend Paul, I call him Influencer Paul because he always gets me into new things. He like convinced me to watch the Avatar: The Last Airbender show, which this year celebrated its 20th anniversary. It's a cartoon on Nickelodeon. A lot of people, it's a huge fandom.
Oh, it's got legions of fans. Yeah,
yeah,
massive.
and so he's like, I really think you know your daughter would like you and Quinn would love this, and I was like,
aren't there
okay.
like 1,000 episodes? Like if you want to watch it, it's like Dragon Ball Z, where it's like this huge Herculean effort to.
It's actually not. So there's about 20. There's 3 seasons. I think the first season is 20 episodes, and the next 2 are like there's 15 episodes. So and they're like half hours, so it's not crazy. We actually plowed through them in a few months, but I became obsessed with it. And I actually became so obsessed that there's a character on it named Zuko who has this amazing character arc, and I'm obsessed with him. So I like this was my favorite.
Are you willing to watch the M. Night Shyamalan live action adaptation?
Oh, I saw that movie when it came out, and it's an abomination. And no, so so what was exciting was because I'm obsessed with Zuko, this character that had this whole character arc in it. I like bought a bunch of Zuko stuff this year, and like I like looked everywhere for the Zuko pop, and it was my favorite thing is I got a Zuko pop. And it's really funny. This is embarrassing. I'm going to say this because whatever. So like the next show that comes after Avatar: The Last Airbender is a show called Legend of Korra. So I started watching that. We're into season 3 now, and it takes
Doesn't
place
Netflix have another one coming up or another season?
Yes. There's a new Avatar show. It's called I have it here. What is it? It's called oh my God, I have it. It's called Seven Havens. It's a new Avatar series. And so I went to the thing that I went to Thursday morning was they had a 20th anniversary panel. I had all the voice cast. This is crazy because I just got into the show this year. They showed a sizzle reel, and it was really cool because they mentioned that in 2004, they premiered the pilot episode. It got great at Comic-Con. It got greenlit, and they premiered the first episode at 2005 Comic-Con, which 2005 was my first Comic-Con, but I didn't go see it then. But anyway, so it was like a big deal for it to come back, 20 years later, because they started off at Comic-Con. Anyway, all of the voice cast, but this one girl, that voice cast of Qatar was there. But anyway, they had this really emotional sizzle reel, and I cried. So my first panel of Comic-Con, I cried watching this Avatar sizzle. So anyway, but it's just funny. And the whole Nickelodeon booth was like Avatar themed. So it was 20th anniversary. They had this big activation at Petco, which was like a 4-hour wait that was taking place with the cabbage guy from the show, which is a really niche thing. And I'm like, I'm not waiting 4 hours. But anyway, I became obsessed, and I got all these Zuko things. So if you see my feed, you see me all Zuko'd out. But what's really embarrassing is that in the Legend of Korra, the 3rd season, they finally show that it takes place like 70 years after the Avatar, and they show the Zuko character, and he's older, and I didn't know he was going to be in it, and I like screamed when he was on the show, and I'm like, can you rewind it? And then my daughter said to me, she said,
what does rewind mean? Yeah.
No, she didn't. Yeah, no, she knows what it means. What she said to me, she's like, do you have a crush on Zuko? And I was like horrified because my daughter's never said anything like that to me, and I'm like, do I have a crush on a cartoon character? I think I might. But anyway,
need to look up Zuko.
Well, look him up when he has hair, because in the first few seasons, his head's all shaved. But it's really because of his character arc. He's
hotter than Jared Leto.
Yes.
Is he as hot as the dude from The Creator?
Oh, Vincent Spotto. There's no one better than Vincent Spotto. No. Okay. But
one
anyway.
of these days, we're just going to do a Becky D'Anna, like top 100 hottest actors, like all time.
Dreamy. Yeah.
And just objectify all your dreamy crushes from childhood to the present day.
This isn't turning into Becky's dreamy men pose. But anyway, so I just want to say it's funny. So if you saw my feed and all of a sudden you see me all avatared out, it's really because the
Zuko
character
was played by Dev Patel in the one of the versions of it.
Oof. No, in the voice actor though is amazing. He was on the I think his name is Dante something or other. He apparently has an Avatar podcast, and he's
Dante
amazing.
Bosco.
Yeah, Yeah, but it's just this huge. If you do watch the show, there's this amazing character arc where he starts off bad and then he's complicated and then he becomes. I know I don't want to give anything away if you don't want. But anyway, I'm obsessed, and I didn't mean to turn this into Becky's obsession with Avatar: Last Airbender.
We're here to talk about stuff that made an impression. So
yeah, so it became if that's what I'm saying about new fandoms. I didn't know this show existed. I mean, I've heard of it peripherally. I saw the crappy M. Night Shyamalan movie, but like I'm obsessed with it now, and like I think I bought like 6 exclusives of Zuko this weekend, and I'm a Zuko stan. So anyway, that's what
I'm the same way with the Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's coming out in September, and last year for whatever reason, I decided, you know what? Because I know the first feature film was the most successful animated movie ever released in Japan. I was like, all right, well, they're pretty good at doing goddamn good animation. Maybe I ought to have a look-see. And there's like 90 fucking episodes to this thing, but I'm fully caught up on it, and I love it. I liked it so
amazing.
much. When I was watching it, I would be like playing air guitar with my leg thrashing to the theme music while watching it. I mean, I just got totally obsessed. But it's made for like 7-year-old children over in Japan. But the first of the last trilogy is coming out in September, and they had a presentation at Comic-Con, but no new footage. So I only shared this poster because this is all that they unveiled at Comic-Con.
Yeah, and I apparently they had like some singers and stuff. I didn't actually get to attend because I had to leave Saturday to go to my friend David Booher. He's like he's does all these comics now, and he had signings and panels all weekend, which was really amazing, and I went to a lot of them. But like he signed a Dark Horse twice. It was really exciting. But anyway, I had to leave Holly after Star Trek. I left and I missed this. But can I actually ask you, because we just started marketing this movie. We're getting to know it better. But it's really exciting to hear from someone who just discovered this fan. Why do you love this?
Because it kicks serious ass. It's got awesome music, awesome characters.
Yeah.
The animation is probably a little bit too digital compared to like the great heyday of anime, like in the 70s and 80s. But there's nothing better than a proper tale of revenge, where you have all these different swordsmen, where they all have their own special discipline that gives them a different power based on one of the elements. And some people will kind of blend certain elements, but everybody has their own style. But then you have all these demons that they're hunting. It's basically just a bunch of swordsmen versus demons. And the demons gain strength over time, whereas the swordsmen do not. They just gain more skill, but not more like power.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
You're basically following this one character from when he's a very young man, where his family's butchered by demons, to becoming this new total badass. And some of the aging badasses are slowly but surely getting picked off. So you're getting to watch all the young characters slowly but surely kind of rise through the ranks. It's incredibly addictive, and I've watched some of the episodes 2 times over. But
and how long are they?
It depends if you watch them as movies or as the seasons, because they've condensed some of the seasons into feature films if you're short on time, or you can watch the seasons in their entirety. But it'll take you a couple weeks to battle your way through all of it. It is major time commitment if you wish to start watching it.
So Avatar: Last Airbender is like I said, it's pretty easy. I mean it's a commitment, but nowhere near what Demon Slayer.
All right, so their total is 63 episodes so far. And that's a lot of television. But a lot of times people say, oh, you got to watch like 2 seasons of a show before it finally starts getting good. Like Demon Slayer is good from the word go, and it stays good. And we can debate which seasons are better, but I fucking love the whole thing. So yeah, I'm fired up for the flick in September.
Awesome. And then I forgot, there's two panels three, just really quick, because I know we don't have that much time. I liked. Well, one is the Star Trek panel. Just to quickly, they showed us a full episode, which was crazy. I actually was like, wait, what? Because they did
from Starfleet or
from Strange New Worlds. They showed next week's episode, which is a murder mystery episode. This complete episode, which I was actually they brought the cast out, but I was surprised because like I said, they did that during the strike because there was there was no actors there, but it was cool. Like it was fun to see it a week early. I'm not particularly a huge fan of the ending of it, but like I'm out of the minority. Most of the people I was with absolutely loved it. And I'm part of the Star Trek LAOA team, which is a club in LA of a bunch of Star Trek fanatics. I know it sounds really geeky, but I do a lot of stuff with them, and I don't really care because I love Star Trek. It's part of just in my DNA. Anyway,
Unless it's Section 31, which I remember even
which
you
I
had a
hate it.
few words of criticism.
Yeah, my Letterboxd review was 1 star, and I called it an absolute abomination. From the first minute of that, it was an excruciating movie. I was really distraught. I don't know how that even came out. I
Because if
hated it
memory
so much.
serves, when we did this video last year, I
I
showed
was
a few seconds from Section 31, and
Yes.
I predicted that it wouldn't be so bueno, and you got a little annoyed with me at the time. Are you willing now to concede that Star Trek is, at a minimum, hit or miss when it comes to modern Trek?
There's one miss, and this is the one miss. I think the rest of it is amazing. I'm actually a fan of all the new shows. This was a miss in like the biggest miss of ever. Like
What about Picard season 2?
Oh wait, yeah, I guess there's miss. But Picard season 1, I hate it.
See,
more than
I'm peeling away
Yes!
layers of the onion
Okay,
and
wait,
finding the Star Trek hater at your core.
Here's the thing that's interesting is that I'm all in on all the Star Trek. I give up on anything. I hated Picard season 1 so much that I almost didn't watch Picard season 2. And the only reason why I did was a lot of people started saying it was sort of like Star Trek 4 in a lot of ways because they go back into the present day. And I was like, okay, so I watched it. It wasn't that great, but it was better than the first season of Picard, which I hate it. But Picard season 3 is euphoric. It's everything I ever wanted. It's the best of the new Trek. It's amazing. So, but I also, you can totally skip season 1 and 2 and just watch the third one. And if you haven't seen it, it's amazing. So you're right. You are letting me, it's true. Section 31 is a disaster. And the first 2 seasons of Picard aren't great, but I really love Discovery. Although I didn't love the first season that much, but I did love the show. And I know a lot of people don't like Discovery, but I really love the show. Stranger Worlds is my favorite of the new shows. Well, Picard season 3 is the best. And then I love Stranger Worlds, the series. I'm actually very excited about Starfleet Academy, which Holly Hunter they showed, which was amazing. She's the chancellor and the head of Starfleet.
Do you have a small bias due to your love and affection to broadcast news that might be positively impacting your impression of Starfleet Academy?
You don't know me at all, Jamie. I don't know why you act like you know me. You do. Yes, I have a massive bias because I'm obsessed with broadcast news, and Holly Hunter's like.
I think you've even said on multiple occasions, like I am she, or she is me, or I am her, or whatever. Like I think you've made that declaration.
How do you remember all this? Why do you remember everything? Yeah, she is the character I most relate to, Jane in broadcast news. Very excited, but the amazing casting that they did with the show. It's set in the 32nd century. Oh yeah, she's the captain and the chancellor of Starfleet. Another thing that's a really amazing, I'm looking at my notes here, which is cool, is that in the trailer, which I don't know, did they release the trailer
for Starfleet Academy?
Yes.
In answer to your question. Yes, they did.
Is that okay? So they
released the full trailer. That's all I didn't want to get very litigious with me in the past when it comes to YouTube. So I didn't want to risk more than 9 seconds.
So what was interesting was in the trailer, they show them on a ship and you're like, wait, what's happening? Because it's Starfleet Academy. And then they talked about that essentially they consider the ship like a teaching hospital in a way where these cadets are on they go to school in class in San Francisco at Starfleet Academy, but they also go on missions on a ship to like learn how to actually maneuver on a ship, which is really cool and unique. Also, it takes place after the burn, which if you know Discovery, I mean, just like way far into the future where Starfleet Academy has shut down. Now it's Starfleet. Starfleet is now up and running again. There's a new hope, and there's a little bit of parallels to what's happening today and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I know a lot of people don't like Discovery and how there's the burn and all that stuff, but I think I'm excited, and Tig Notaro's in it, and I absolutely loved her from Discovery. I'm very excited that she's in this new show. They showed a lot of the new cast members, but again, Holly Hunter looks amazing. She's gorgeous in real life. She looks gorgeous on the show. I'm obviously a big fan of hers, as you said, Jamie.
I saw her very first movie the other day. Over the weekend, I watched the Burning, a slasher film I'd never seen. And there she is at a campfire with like 1 or 2 lines. She got her SAG card by appearing in The Burning, but she said she could finally quit her waitress job after appearing.
That's so cool. Yeah. But obviously my favorite performance of her ever is in broadcast news. I'm obsessed with that.
Raised in Arizona or Crash would be in the mix. But I know that time travel is a big part of Star Trek, especially in modern Trek. Actually, managed to travel into the future and find my review of Starfleet Academy this coming January. Are you interested in seeing a taste of things to come in January of 2026?
I don't think I have a choice, so go ahead, Jamie.
Here we go. A taste of the future, a taste of things to come.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes! Eyes! Ah!
Did the fact that I included Sarah Connor at the end help the medicine go down?
It did help the medicine go down with the Sarah Connor after her fever dream. It's very exciting. Michael laughed. You made Michael laugh, and
I will watch it and I will review it somewhat in good faith, but my expectations are lower than yours. But it comes out at a time where there'll be very few new shows and movies to cover. I have a feeling I'll have no choice but to review Starfleet Academy when it comes out.
That video wasn't as bad as the video you made me endure last year. So kudos to you for not doing that to me again.
I softened it.
As long.
I was thinking about playing the exact same one, but
no.
I removed the shit and poop and all the bodily dismemberment and all that stuff.
So. Bill Scurry still talks to me. He came out to LA a month ago, and I got him a cake for his birthday. I don't know if you saw. I got him a sideways cake. It was a really big deal. He actually apologized on your behalf to me in person about that video. He's like,
I do my own apologizing.
He's just like, I just feel really bad that Jamie did that to you. Like, and I'm like, oh my God. I love how like the whole Wrong World community like feels like they need to take care of me. They're always like, are you okay, Becky?
Becky's a big girl and she can fight her own battles. And
yeah. I also feel it's very endearing that a lot of them want to protect me. But he was
all the Wrong World community out there. I'll say Becky has a spine of steel, and anytime I get on her nerves, she will be the first to tell me I've crossed.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. But this is fine. And I never ever expected you to be excited about the show. I am obviously very optimistic about it. I'm very excited. I like the casting, and Paul Giamatti's a massive Trek fan. He really wanted to be a part of some in a movie or a TV show. So I think it's really exciting for him to play Klingon. He's apparently half Klingon and half some other alien race, which I can't remember. I don't write it down. But yeah, it's exciting. I'm in. Another thing was Project Hail Mary. I did the panel. That's an Amazon Studios movie.
I have not read it yet, but I plan to. It comes out next spring. That's one of the movies on the calendar in 2026. Well, I've heard that if you start reading it, you can't stop, and you need to just like carve out the entire day. But I'm saving it for a little bit later. But I've got very high expectations for Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, and apparently the script is fantastic too. Oh, you're going to show. You're going to show.
But they didn't unveil any new clips online, at least during the convention. I made a rule for myself. I can only share a clip if it was unveiled at the convention. And the trailer came out like a month or so ago. Trailer didn't necessarily blow my mind, but the reports I've heard about the book are just like absolutely, sky's the limit. And it's the author of The Martian, correct? And is it the same person who adapted The Martian, adapting this screenplay as well?
Drew Goddard.
Jean-Luc Godard.
I'm sure it's not Goddard. I think it's Goddard. But I could be wrong.
He's an excellent writer.
He's an excellent writer, and he was there. So was Andy Weir was there as well, and then Ryan Gosling was there.
What about Lord and Miller?
Lord and Miller were there. And they showed that's another one. They showed is a little bit less than the other ones that showed us 15 minutes and 20 minutes. They showed us the first 5 minutes of the movie. They also showed us 5 separate sequences. Sandra Hüller,
I've not read a word. What is the gist of Project Hail Mary?
Yeah, so I guess Ryan Gosling plays a science teacher who his name is Rylan Grace. I think I wrote down. Yeah, and then there's apparently the sun. There's like some mysterious substance that's making the sun die out, and they believe because of Ryan Gosling's character is also like a scientist. He's a science teacher, but he has like an amazing degree. in science. And I believe some paper he wrote or something he did. Again, I didn't read the book, so don't get on me for it. He apparently, they believe that he is somebody that would be able to help figure out why the sun's dying out, and so they pick him of all the people, and I think he's a reluctant hero. Like, it's not something he wants to do. I think in the movie, I think the beginning of the movie, or like the sequence, I don't know if it's in the trailer, but he is sort of they send him off to space, and then he's just looks like a caveman, because he's been in there forever, and he's got a beard and everything, and he has to try to figure it out in space. And there is an alien that he befriends that doesn't have a face. It's like a rock type character where you see the hands, and he has like a really amazing relationship. But what they keep saying is that it's like, apparently I heard about the book too, is the book's really funny. It's really heartbreaking. It's got all these layers to it. And
what was the last thing Lord and Miller did as directors? I know they've obviously been producing, or at least they produced the sequel to whatever the second Spider-Verse movie was. They weren't involved. Did they direct the first one, but not the second one?
They directed the first one, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Wait, did they direct?
I think was it Across the Spider-Verse was the sequel, which I think they just produced.
They didn't do Across. They didn't direct the first one, did they? Because Peter Ramsey directed it.
So was the last movie they directed the Solo: A Star Wars Story, or?
Yeah, maybe. Oh my gosh, we should know this.
I'm looking it up.
Didn't they do the Lego movie though? They did the first Lego movie.
Yeah, that was 2014 or 13. Yeah, so they did 22 Jump Street. They did Solo: A Star Wars Story. But they've been out of the director's chair for a while. In any case, very talented young directors, or youngish. They're not as young as they used to be, but I do have high hopes that. And also, it reminds me a little bit in the 1970s, we would regularly see best-selling fiction being adapted by some of the biggest directors at that time. Whether you're talking about The Godfather, or The Exorcist, or Carrie, or The Shining, or anything you care to mention. I think Hollywood does need to rediscover the joy of adapting great sci-fi, fantasy, and horror novels, because there's like the shelves are breaking under the weight of all the great books out there that have yet to be adapted. And I feel like too many studios now, they talk about IP mining. It's like, IP mining sounds like you're just going to keep making the same fucking movie over and over and over again until people just throw up their hands in despair. At a minimum, it's something new that we can look forward to that has not been adapted before. So we don't have to argue about, how they are, fucking up Fantastic Four or Superman or whatever.
Yeah, they have great taste. Who can you look up Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? I think there was like 3 directors on that, just because I worked on that and I should know. I know Peter Ramsey's a massive Bergman fan, so I know he's one of the directors.
Into the Spider-Verse was directed by Bob Persichetti.
Oh, Persichetti,
Peter Ramsey, and Rodney Rothman.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Bill
but they
Lord
brought
was one
it.
of the writers.
Yeah. The Peter Ramsey is my favorite one, because I just he's like a big Bergman fan, so he follows me on Twitter, and we talk about
Across the Spider-Verse. Lord and Miller were both doing screenwriting duties, both directed by Joaquim Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, and Justin K. Thompson.
And then I think it's Joaquin Dos Santos. He actually is which I found out when I was watching Avatar. He's like a writer and like a producer, and like he wrote some of the best episodes of Avatar: Last Airbender. So that was exciting watching that. I'm like, he did Across the Spider-Verse. And Project Hail Mary is Sony Pictures has international rights, because Amazon Studios is up and running and trying to get their international offices up and running. Nice. But in the meantime, while they have that happen, they're having Sony Pictures distribute the film internationally. And I'm international at Sony Pictures, so I'm going to get to work on the marketing of it internationally, which is really fun. And then the other major thing was the Lucas panel. George Lucas's first time ever at Comic-Con. He came to talk about the museum, the
Lucas Museum of Narrative Art.
Yes. And Guillermo del Toro is on the board too, and like he was there. I videoed both of their intros. They're on my Twitter feed, but I'm sure you can look up them too.
So what's going to be the purpose of the museum? I mean, narrative art, that's a pretty broad topic.
Well, so I think one thing I learned during the thing is that George Lucas has been collecting art since he was he has over
since he became a gazillionaire at age like 30.
Yeah, he has 40,000 pieces of art that he's collected over the years. He's collected Norman Rockwell, Maxwell Parrish, Norman Lewis, Cora Walker paintings. He has like the first drawing of Flash Gordon from 1934. He's got original sketches of the Peanuts from the 50s and 60s because he has all this money. He's acquired all this art, and he's like, well, he needs a place for it to go. And Guillermo del Toro is going to contribute some of his art too. So I think it's one of those things where he's giving back. He's sort of like,
Does Del Toro still have that like bleak house where he keeps all of his like relics from like horror and fantasy and myth and that sort of thing?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
He basically built a house where he put all of his statues and first edition books. I think it's called his Bleak House, but he basically has his own private like haunted house museum where anytime he wants to be inspired, he can just go immerse himself in all of his favorite artistic relics. But it sounds like this is going to be that, but on steroids for George Lucas.
Well, so I guess he said they started this project so he would have a place for everything that he's collected since college. And I just think he wants to give back, like wants to have it like other people to appreciate it. And that's another reason why the museum doesn't have any, it's like, he calls it the flow of the museum is that it's got no right angles. It's just like fluid because it's and he's thinking of that as the future of art. Like there's no end to art. He wants people to continue to contribute art because you collect art and then you're obviously going to pass away at some point. He wants this to be a place where all this art can be curated to see.
And where are they going to break ground for it?
So it's 2026 right now. They don't have a date. There is a website, which is when the beginning of the panel, they put up a QR code. You can go on and like put your email address. You can get like updates. It's crazy because it looks like a huge spaceship and it's right next to the LA Coliseum where USC plays.
Gotcha.
And so I'm this year will be my 30th season of 30 years of watching USC football. That's how old I am. Because I've missed one home game in 30 years. And so I go to every single USC home football game. So every game I walk right by the museum because it's right next to it, like literally right next to it. And I got to see it evolve and become a thing. But right now the date is 2026. And they gave us, I forgot, I left it in my car, but they gave us a poster of the museum. And in the back, it has like a lot of the art that's included and the 2026 date. Sorry, I forgot to bring it in. But yeah, that was a poster they gave away. It was really fun watching them. And George Lucas was very eloquent. He spoke very passionately about his art collection. And he got a huge warm reception from everyone in the audience. I think he was really kind of overwhelmed, and Guillermo del Toro was like living it up too. He had a lot of fun, but it was just really like a really awesome hour-long, like them talking about how much they love of art and like the beauty of art. And it was just really, everybody was really well spoken. And it was just really a nice time of an hour. And, not a lot of nerdy, like Star Wars stuff, which I mean, I'm down for nerdy anything, but it was just really a big art history appreciation hour. And it was great. So I'm really excited about the museum. Again, I think you can probably like Google it. The website, it's just it sort of crashed when we all did the QR codes. So I didn't get to, I got online, but I didn't get to even put my email address in because it crashed. But I think now you probably could go in. So if you want to get updates on when it is, but right now they're just saying 2026. And I think, and I guess they announced that they were going to make this museum in 2017. So it's been like 8 years. Actually, if it opens in 2026, then it's almost 9 years from when they announced it. But yeah, that was it. That was like the major. I'm trying to think. Oh, Queen Latifah did the panel. She's the one that did the interviewer. And then there was back to Star Trek real quick. And if you're a Star Trek fan, they're gonna have, and you're gonna love this, Jamie. They're going to do a Muppet episode in season 4. So all of the characters are going to be Muppets from Jim Henson's Muppets. So they like to do like genre episodes. They did a musical episode. They just did a murder mystery episode, which is the one they showed us that airs next week. And I guess in season 4, they're going to episode where all of the characters are Muppets. And then they've done crossover, like they've had the characters animated. It's fun how they all do new genres. I know it's not for you, Jamie, and I know, but they showed a clip of it. You can see online of the captain. You can see him as a Muppet, so it's fun. But I guess that's season 4. And then I think season 5 is going to be the last season. They've already announced that Strange New Worlds is going to end, and they said that they sort of want to end with the season Strange New Worlds. They want to end the show with Kirk's first day of Star Trek Year 1 for the first original series. And then they said possibly if they might end up going into that if people want to see it. And I know you don't want to see it, but I'm down because I like
I would rather have 2
I
ice
know.
picks inserted through my testicles than watch them try to do Kirk in 2026 or 2027, whenever.
Well,
that
the
show is
Kirk
made.
that they have now, I know you don't like him, but I think he's fantastic. So,
He's
and I
one of the reasons
obviously
that I stopped watching Strange New Worlds. Yeah.
okay, but I do think Ethan Peck, who plays Spock, I think he's the second best Spock after Leonard Nimoy. But
Which is, I mean,
shut up! You've
high
done this to
praise.
me before. Shut up! I know you're like, well, there's only 3, so whatever. But I just think he's extraordinary. I absolutely love him.
Yeah, you could say he's in second place or second to last. Is the same shit.
And
so.
I would say that he is dreamy.
Fair
So
enough.
Jared Leto, a no, but Ethan Peck, a big yes. So
Now,
yeah.
speaking of sci-fi shows, did you
Yes.
hear anything or any buzz from anybody on the ground about the first episode for Alien Earth, which got its premiere at the convention?
No, there was a lot of artwork up like on the buildings, and I heard it looked good. But I didn't go to the. I think there was a panel. I didn't go. Was
Yeah, I
there
think it
any
was in
trailer
the
drops?
ballroom ABC or whatever it is, but I think they
Okay.
had a panel, but they also showed the season premiere in its entirety.
Oh, okay.
And it comes
Yeah.
out in a couple weeks.
It looked exciting. I didn't see any of the footage, but it's something interesting. Are you gonna check it out?
I mean, Noah Hawley, at one time, I was really invested in his stuff. The first few seasons of Fargo were astonishing, and the first season of Legion was also astonishing. So he's got major chops. But I'm at this point, I feel like my review for every subsequent Alien show or movie is always the same. It's fine, but watch Ridley Scott and James Cameron, and you're good to go, because they never introduce anything new. However, in this movie, apparently, and the reason I chose this poster, they've got a ton of posters. There are some new alien life forms that are going to be unleashed on the surface of the Earth.
Oh.
Whether or not Noah Hawley can come up with some creations equal to the creation of H.R. Giger, I'm skeptical, but at a minimum, I'll give it a shot. But when it comes to TV, I get demoralized very, very, very quickly. I was looking at a list of all the shows that got nominated for Emmys recently, and I only managed to finish one, and that was Penguin. But I give up on shows after an episode or two. I just have zero patience for boring shows. And so maybe this will be, but I think I'm always craving a new show to follow on the channel, because it's great for traffic on YouTube if you can do weekly breakdowns of a good show. But I'm just not going to do it unless I'm like totally, completely invested. So I'll have a look-see, just because I've liked Noah Hawley's work in the past, but I'm not nursing any like private hopes like, oh, Alien might get good again, because I think
is it that obviously it must be an accident that aliens got unleashed on Earth? I'm assuming they didn't do it on purpose, or I don't.
I mean, I would assume no one would do that on purpose, but you never know. Yeah,
I don't know.
Let chaos reign.
Just looking, because I'm a big geek, I did an Excel spreadsheet of what I wanted to do at Comic-Con, including the panels I wanted to go to and the collectibles I wanted. I have a section for booths that I want to check out for collectibles. I have a section for activations, section for my schedules. So you can get as geeky as you want with your Excel spreadsheets, or just do the system. But yeah, I'm looking at everything I did, and I think I covered everything. I did see the Coyote versus Acme panel, which was interesting.
And that comes out like late next summer.
Doesn't it come
So
out?
what was the deal with that? Like, it got made.
Oh yeah, it
and they
comes
were
out in
gonna
2020.
and they were going to bury it as like a tax write-off. But
Yeah.
then there was like a public outcry, and they decided to sell it off to the highest bidder.
Yeah, they essentially said, they kept saying it's because of the fans demand. It was actually a really entertaining panel, which was interesting. What I thought was John Cena wasn't on it, and he's like a main character, but he was there like 2 hours later for Peacemaker. So I don't understand why he wasn't on it. Are you frozen?
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh no. We almost got through the whole episode without him being frozen.
No, that was me. I think that was me on my end. I just saw my reset. So
okay. Well, that's okay. That's just one part. But yeah, great. We're almost done. But yeah,
wasn't John Cena there for Peacemaker for season 2?
Yeah, it was just crazy, because in Hall H on Saturday, Coyote vs. Acme was a 10 a.m. panel. Peacemaker, I think, was on at 1 or 2 or something. No, it was like 3:30 or something. Let me see. I think I have it here. Anyway, it was Peacemaker was at 3:30. Coyote versus Acme was at 10 a.m. So maybe he wasn't down. He had something else in the morning, or he didn't want to be there in the morning. But I thought it was fascinating that it was the same room, the same day, but he he went to, I mean, obviously Peacemaker, he's the star, but he was actually a major cast member and kind of was Acme. So I don't understand why. I assumed he wasn't going to be on Peacemaker because he wasn't on the morning panel, but I guess he had something going on and he didn't go. But it looked interesting. They showed footage of it and it looked funny. I guess the whole premise is that is it
Wile E. Coyote.
Wile E. Coyote. He is suing Acme in this movie because they figured out that everything that blows up is like not his fault, and he feels like it's like defective.
I always feel like
tools.
every attempt to resurrect the classic Looney Tunes characters always meets with failure because they're unwilling to embrace the really aggressive, violent sense of humor that characterized a lot of Warner Brothers animation, many decades ago. But if you watch animation from the 30s and 40s, they were designed for adults. They were shorts that would play before feature films and that had an adult sensibility. But they always think, oh, because it's a cartoon, it's got to be made for kids. It's like, well, then you're not really understanding the spirit of Looney Tunes. Like if you watch What's Opera Doc with Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, I mean, it's referencing fucking Wagner. I mean, that is clearly referencing ballet and opera. It's made for an adult sensibility. And so, yeah, I always, I'm always deeply skeptical of anything involving the Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah. Well, so it comes out August 28th, 2026. They did show us a lot of footage, and then they said that nobody's going to see the footage until next year. So I guess they were going to release it. One was interesting is that they talked about, they didn't say Warner Brothers, but in order to, instead of saying disparaging Warner Brothers, they said Acme. So we're going to say Acme instead of this. So they kept saying how like Acme was trying to stop the movie and Acme, whatever. And it was kind of funny. And then the beginning, there was one of the guys in the film who is an Acme exec in the movie, but was on the panel, and he's like, you need to shut down this panel. And he was like, and that outfit you're wearing is a copyrighted material. You need to disrobe. And it sounded a lot funnier when you were there, but it was an amusing panel. So, yeah, looks so fun. I know you don't hate that word fun.
Well, I like people say a movie's fun when they really mean it looks like it sucks, but I'm trying to be positive and say encouraging words.
That is not my take. When I say something's fun, I mean it's fun. It looks fun. So I'm fun. It looks curious. I'm curious to see it. We'll see if I like it. But yeah, it looks fun. Well, and Will Forte's in it, and then and apparently there's like 10 Looney Tune characters in it, like to Bugs Bunny to Porky Pig, and there's a lot of characters that end up showing up. They didn't announce all of them, but there are a handful of them. Oh, and then this is random, but there's a Taylor Sheridan show called. Are you a Taylor Sheridan fan? I feel like you are.
Casual fan. I watch
Okay.
some of his shows. I rarely finish them, but I enjoyed Landman probably more than any of his other shows.
Oh, so Landman already came out? I thought it was
season 1 already came out last year, and it was very entertaining.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually what I was going to show you. That thing. Remember I said I got something from a show that I didn't want, and maybe somebody, one of your listeners wants it. I'm like, maybe you'll want it, and maybe you will. Anyway, Paramount had a Lodge. It's the third year in a row they did an activation called the Lodge, and it was very hard to get in. It was like sold out really quickly. They dropped it, and I had to do standby line, and it really sucked because I got in, but essentially the two things that were the best part of it, which was walking onto the bridge of the Enterprise, and they're doing a Mission Impossible photo. Like there's a photo op, like you're standing over just like that iconic scene where you're being held. Both of those capped. And by the time I got in, they let all the people stand by in at 15 minutes after, and they were capped. So the only thing else you could do is there really wasn't anything else to do, but other than get a free drink or whatever. But one of the things they gave you was this Landman mug that says Motex oil or something. Anyway, I don't want it. I don't watch the show. It seems like a cool mug.
You actually might like it. Ali Larder's really good in it. John Hamm's really good in it.
Sure.
Demi Moore's good in it. And Billy Bob Thornton is absolutely hysterical.
But
in it.
if you, Jamie, I doubt you want it. But if there's any listeners,
I don't know if it's worth the shipping cost to send it all the way to New York, but I appreciate the gesture.
I don't mind shipping it to New York because I get like a really Sony, like I get a really amazing discount at the studio store. It's like a lot cheaper. So it's way cheaper for me to send stuff. But anyway, if you want it, you can claim it, Jamie. If not, I can send it to a listener that wants it because I don't want it, and I think it's kind of a cool mug. And obviously, if
anybody really wants that mug, in the comments below, give Becky a shout out.
Let me know, because you know what? If somebody got something Zuko, like I was just gushing about him, and they're like, I don't care, but I'd be like, I want it. So if you really want this Landman mug, and you just let me know, and if you're the first person that, and maybe nobody will care, but if anybody does want it, I will send it to you.
And going back to an earlier topic about Paramount, I feel like Paramount Plus has been kept alive over the last couple of years through Taylor Sheridan's just like, onslaught of TV.
Yeah.
But it seems like with so many things up in the air, even Taylor Sheridan's future at Paramount is kind of dubious at this point. But I feel like if Paramount doesn't re-up on all of his various shows, Netflix is going to swoop in and say, how would you like $1 billion to make shows for us for the next 10 years? Because he writes the episodes. He doesn't direct all the episodes, but he probably writes more episodes of television per year than any other writer alive. Taylor Sheridan, if Paramount doesn't want him, somebody else will grab him.
Yeah, and he's so prolific, and apparently his shows, like, there's no misses, right? I hear.
Like, it depends. I mean, for me, I think all of his shows are pretty good, but he has fans. But people always condescendingly refer to his shows as Red State Game of Thrones because of shows like Yellowstone and stuff like that. But there are people that, like, I remember I was at a bar in Charlotte, North Carolina one time, and the bartender was talking the ear off of like 3 girls at the bar, and all he was doing was episode breakdowns and recaps from Yellowstone. I was like, all right, well, for some people, it is like their Game of Thrones and whatnot. And so, Taylor Sheridan, there's a reason why people love and adore his shows so much. But I just find his shows to be pretty good, but I kind of forget them as soon as I've seen them, as opposed to getting really invested in like the ongoing sagas and plot lines. But Ali Larter, I've been a fan since Varsity Blues, and I love seeing her still kicking butt on a hit show.
Isn't she was in the American Pie movies, wasn't she too?
She was. I don't think she was in the first two, but maybe
I think she was in this. I think she was.
She was in Final Destination 1 and 2.
I feel like she was in American Pie 2, but I could be wrong. And the last thing, really quickly, is that I went to the Her Universe fashion show. I just want to say a shout out because it's like every Thursday of Comic-Con. It's like one of my highlights. And it's just favorite is the Ashley Eckstein is the creator of Her Universe. They create like they call it geek couture. It's shirts, it's apparel it used to just be for girls because they never make a geek outfits or outfits for women. A lot of it's just made for men, but now she also makes stuff for guys. But I really love it. It's really fun. They get a bunch of designers that develop outfits, and then they have a panel of people who vote on them, and then somebody wins the fashion show. But it's always like it's 2 or 3 hours of just so much fun. There's great music, and it's one of my highlights, and I go every year. And if you do ever go to Comic-Con, it's something really fun to check out on Thursday night. It's a staple of mine. I think I've been going for like 10 years or something. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that because I just had a great time.
Beautiful. One last question. Did you hear anything good or bad about the Silent Night, Deadly Night reboot, an unrated horror movie coming this December from the people who released Terrifier 3? And the reason I ask, our mutual friend Adam Rakoff works with Matthew Modine. Matthew Modine's daughter, Ruby, has been in some horror movies, but this is her next big horror vehicle. Have you heard anything, any rumblings from the Comic-Con community about Silent Night, Deadly Night?
No, this is the first time I ever heard of it. I like Silent Night, Deadly Night. I used to in high school. I started getting obsessed with horror films when I was 9, but in high school I found my crew who also love horror films. So we used to watch horror films together based on all the different holidays. And this was a Christmas one we used to like to watch together. It's really gnarly.
And the first one's pretty
racy. It's very racy.
And I was skeptical that this movie would be willing to go there until I heard it was unrated. So I'm going to give you a little 20-second taste from the trailer.
From the studio that brought you Terrifier 3 comes a new and unrated vision of the cult classic. Get down! This Christmas, spread the holiday fear. Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I'm in.
And one of the only bits of trivia I have about Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is that they wanted to make a sequel, but they didn't want to have to actually pay for it. So they took all the outtakes and all the scraps from the first movie, did like 1 or 2 days of reshoots, and then included a lot of flashbacks from the first movie. Like, brilliant. We did it. We made a sequel with no budget, and they released it. And that just shows how, like, people always complain about like the state of the movie industry and how it's cynical and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if you do some digging, you'll find plenty of cynicism and shortcuts being taken in any era of filmmaking. So Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is not a worthy successor to the original.
I guess not. But this one looks fun. That's cool. Was Matthew
the
Modine's
dreaded
daughter,
word of fun again. He
Well,
looks nasty.
I
Looks
shouldn't even have
visceral,
brought it up
looks
because I
intense.
started you off on the thing. As anyone that knows me, fun is what it is intended for.
Did
I
you like the
actually
pop
do
group
believe it.
Fun?
Did what? Okay.
Tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I didn't know this was gonna happen. I'm an updated version of Silent Night, Deadly Night. Totally in. I love that it's not rated. Wonder if it's gonna be as racy as the. I didn't really see it because of the raciness. I liked more of like the.
I mean, the
crazy-
original has a naked girl being embedded
Oh,
in a pair of antlers as the
yeah,
antlers come out of her body. I mean, it is hardcore and graphic. Yeah,
yeah, but it's
Linnea
a cool.
Quigley, who did the famous striptease in Return of the Living Dead.
Are you asking me, or are you just saying?
No, I'm just blathering about my
Oh,
admiration for Linnea
okay. I thought
Quigley,
it was
who
like
was
a
a
trivia.
true
I'm like,
a
I don't.
scream queen icon of the 1980s.
Okay, nice. It's a nice premise. It's a cool premise to Silent Night, Deadly Night. Like this guy sees his like Santa, I think, like kills his parents. And then he ends up becoming a serial killer and dressing
Did
up
you
like
follow
Santa.
the Terrifier phenomenon?
No, I missed it. And like I feel like when it got big, there was already like 3 of them or 2 of them, and then I just never went back. So I'd like to do that. It's supposed to be, I mean, obviously people really love it. So
well, no matter what people think of the movies, and I love the movies, but no matter what people think, it's really cool seeing people make a movie for like $4 or $5 million that ends up grossing nearly 100. Like that is the movie business, coming up with new ideas, new characters, new IP, and taking a risk and going out there and and also he tried to sell out. He tried to sell the idea for years. There were no takers, or they would give him no control and also no like downstream revenue streams. And so he's like, fuck it, I'm going to make it myself. And so he made a short, I think an anthology movie, and then 3 features, each of which had a slightly bigger budget. Damien Leone, he's earned all the success that has come his way. So my hope is that there'll be more people following in his footsteps, like Eli Roth with the horror section. He's got his movie, new unrated movie, Jimmy Smith, coming out like in 2 or 3 weeks. I feel like unrated horror is poised to make a comeback if the movies can deliver.
I agree. Yeah, I'm excited. I just missed it somehow, and that's always problem is when there's sequels, and then I'm like, oh, I got to see the original to see this, and I got to make the time. But it is something ahead of me. I'd like to check it out. I'm a horror fanatic. I just realized because I'm wearing this Halloween t-shirt that I'm picking my daughter up from camp today, and I'm not sure I should be wearing like a serial killer with blood coming out of his eyes on the day I pick her up from first day of camp. So I'm like, maybe I should.
It'll be good for all the kids. They'll develop emotional scar tissue. Oh, and speaking of your little girl, I know she recently started playing D&D. Did you hear anything about the Mighty Nine or Legend of Vox Machina, both of which are based on D&D campaigns, and both of which are now animated series, courtesy of the people at Critical Role?
I didn't, but you know what I did do is she requested her own dice, which there was a whole booth, and it's a really famous booth that's at Comic-Con every year. I can't remember that. It's Kubrick.
If she's getting into it and starting to enjoy it, Legend of Vox Machina Season 1 is my favorite adaptation of D&D that I've ever seen. There have been a lot of attempts at adapting the spirit of D&D, but Critical Role, they basically were running like one of the world's greatest streaming successes for like 10 years of them just playing D&D, but he has all these incredible voice actors as his players, and they became so successful, Amazon then turned those campaigns into animated series. So Legend of Vox Machina's got Season 4 coming out. This is an image from the Mighty Nine, which has Season 1 coming out. But if your little girl's looking for a show based on D&D, Legend of Vox Machina will definitely scratch that itch.
This is good. No, I can't wait. I have to show her this. This is great. I don't think I knew about this, but yeah, it's a bit kind of a big deal that she asked me. She's like, wait, I'm ready. Cause she just did her last D&D session on Saturday, and then
she's a dragon kin druid, if memory serves.
She's a dragon druid. And
dragon kin.
Sorry, yes, I actually texted you exactly what it was, and then I think I told you her name, but I can't remember her name. But yeah, she's very excited. She loves it.
Not as cool as your paladin from first edition D&D.
I have the best name for my paladin, which is Nova Hanfoy. Nova Hanfoy, and she's a badass. And I wish you could throw up a picture.
And you have
of
bragging
her.
rights where you will always be cooler than your daughter because you played first edition, which is more challenging and more it's less player friendly and a little bit more aggressive. So anytime she tries to act all cool, like, oh, my character's level 5 now, I'll be like, bitch, I played first edition D&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, so that'll always make you cool.
Yeah, I'll say bitch to my daughter. Yeah,
bitch. You played 5th edition. That shit's weak.
was cool. Like I have a little tear in my eye when she's like, "Can you get me dice?" And I was like, "What's happening?" I sent her pictures of all the dice, and she
They're
picked
great
that one.
collectibles.
So I brought her home her first dice. So she's very
And your
excited
dice
about
get
that.
imbued with good luck over time by you having
Oh,
your own set. And if your dice at any point turn against you and start exhibiting bad luck, you have to take them out and show them in front of the other dice. You have to destroy them so the other dice will learn the lesson to not give you poor numbers, and then you replace them.
wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I should post a picture of my paladin because she's badass. And I remember Jamie tried to get me to pick other paladin pictures, and they were like,
I
all
sent you a
racist.
piece of art by Clyde Caldwell, which was used on the cover of the book As Your Bonds, which is the famous Forgotten Realms novel. But in the 1980s, let's just say that the artwork for promoting D&D was a little bit more lascivious than 5th edition, which is one of the shortcomings of 5th edition.
So my paladin's got full armor, but she looks like a badass, and she doesn't
Covers
have
her cleavage.
her boobas aren't hanging out, and she's amazing. And
It's
I'm
a distraction for your opponents, so you can stab them while they're looking in the wrong place. It's a misdirect.
distract them. She's amazing. Anyway, I love the art that I picked for her, and I'm very proud of her. So yes. Anyway.
Well, fantastic. Well, where can people find you online to follow developments of your upcoming show? Where can they follow you for videos from Comic-Con? Now's the time to plug and promote all your various ongoing projects, and also anything that Sony's got coming out in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I thought I had the release schedule. I forgot to bring it. I forgot. So I'm not going to plug because I don't want to get the dates wrong. But what I can say for me is
Caught Stealing coming out at the end of August. Isn't that one of y'all's movies?
It is. I feel really
Darren
bad.
Aronofsky. I'm actually really excited.
Maybe you should
it looks fantastic.
Give our release schedule. Oh my God, I'm like the worst employee right now because I left the schedule.
But it looks like a great throwback to 90s era New York based crime movies and comedies, and everything about the trailer speaks to me, and so it looks like a big comeback for Darren Aronofsky.
Nice. We have Anaconda movie coming out in December. I just don't know the date off the top of my head. So anyway, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to ruin any dates. But for me, the best place is for social media. I am still on Twitter at Hollywood Minotaur. I am at Blue Sky at Hollywood Minotaur. I post to both, and that's Hwood Minotaur, not Hollywood spelled out. And then on Instagram, you can get me at the Becky D'Anna. And then there's no apostrophe in D'Anna, so it's just Danna. And then
it's just Becky D'Anna.
Dana, yeah, but exactly.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
Yes. Or you can go to my website, which is BeckyD'Anna.com, no apostrophe. That has every podcast appearance I've ever done. It has my top 10 list from like the last 20 years. It's the hub for everything me. So if you ever want to I want to see what podcast, and all our past Comic-Con episodes are on there under the podcast tab. I will again. There is a new podcast that I get to host, my very first show. I'm very excited. As I was talking about at the beginning of this episode, I think we're announcing it next week. But ultimately, I will put probably a new tab on my website to links to all that show. But I will look out for my socials. So Twitter, Blue Sky, or Instagram, wherever you like to go, I will probably push it out and announce it there. And there's a whole marketing team behind this podcast. So it's not just me in a basement doing my podcast. There's a whole team. I have a co-host, like I said, John Laubinger. I have an amazing producer named Rob Jenners, who is Emmy award-winning producer, actually.
Very nice.
He produced the Shack podcast. He's amazing. And there's a whole team of marketing people behind this show. It's a big deal. I'm very proud of it. I really can't wait for you guys to watch it, and I hope you like it. And it will be an audio version only if you like, or it's also going to be on YouTube, a video version. So if you like watching the video, it'll be video and audio.
This fall, after y'all have a couple episodes in the tank, I'd love to get both you and John at the same time just to plug and promote your show, but we'll find a juicy topic of some kind. But I don't think I've ever recorded with the two of you. I've recorded separately with both of you many times, but I've never recorded with the two of you. So it'd be a pleasure, an honor, and a privilege.
We've never been on your show together. It's very exciting. And actually there is like there's probably going to be a press tour of this show, which is kind of crazy, where they do want us to go on shows and promote this new show. Well, so
I'll roll up the red carpet anytime y'all like.
Yeah. So you are definitely a show that we both care a lot about. And so, my first podcast that I've ever done, You're the Reason Why I Podcast. You're the Reason Why I Fell in Love with it, Jamie.
Summer 2015?
Yeah. No, my first episode ever was Modern Romance.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sure I said nothing controversial or scandalous at all about it. Was it Catherine Harold who's the
Oh my
co-star?
gosh. Yeah, I think you
She's
did
from
say
Virginia. I've got a small but
you were in
manageable
love with
crush.
her. I can
Yeah.
imagine people being in love with her. Albert Brooks dated her, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm very
so
jealous.
I kind of love that my first episode of podcasting ever was an Albert Brooks movie, Modern Romance, because I absolutely love him.
Then we tackled Hour the Wolf shortly thereafter. Or?
Yeah, and then during the episode, because it was my first podcasting ever, you said, "Hey, why don't you come back and do a Bergman episode?" So I did Hour of the Wolf and Persona, which was my second episode. Also, just really quickly, because this is a really exciting thing that happened to me last week. On Albert Brooks's birthday, July 22nd, New Beverly program Lost in America and Modern Romance, a double. And so I had to go. It was a Night Before Comic-Con. I normally would never do anything Night Before Comic-Con, take another night away from my daughter, but I was so excited. And it was so fun. And my friend Michael Torgan, who's the son of Stanley Torgan, who is the founder of the New Beverly, was there that night, and he did the intro and he called me out. And it was like one of the most meaningful things ever. He called me Albert Brooks' #1 fan. And he talked about how he tried to program Lost in America back in 2011 for me, but there's like absolutely there's a very rare 35 millimeter prints of the movie.
Gotcha.
But they were able to get a print from a private collector. It was so cool to like have him call me out and just have him there. And it was just the theatrical experience of being at the New Beverly. It was sold out on Albert Brooks' birthday to see Lost in America and Modern Romance. It was like just 3 hours of bliss of just people roaring with laughter. It was a big celebration of Albert Brooks. It was probably one of the best nights of my life, honestly. And I'm really glad I did it. And I went with my amazing friend Andrew, and it was just amazing. I can't wait. Actually, Albert Modern Romance. You know what? I can't say this. I was going to tell you something really exciting about my show, but I can't. So never mind.
Next appearance.
Next time.
Very cool. Well, I can't think of a better note to end this video with. So thank you all for listening. Hope you all have enjoyed some of these flicks and shows that we have placed on your radar. And we hope you enjoyed a little good-natured, gentle ribbing about the state of modern Star Trek. And who knows, maybe Starfleet Academy will be the best and brightest Star Trek show.
Maybe it'll be your favorite show.
It might be my favorite show where I do detailed breakdowns of every episode. And
you didn't know your life before Starfleet Academy. Yes.
And also, you never know when a show just might grab hold of you, like friggin' Demon Slayer. Like I did not anticipate getting totally sucked into that show, so I always remain open to
The Last Airbender. I didn't know that I was going to be spending, getting a second mortgage on the house to buy collectibles on it. So yeah.
Fair enough. Well, remember to follow Becky over on X and Blue Sky and follow her upcoming show. And if you enjoyed this episode, remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. But more importantly, as always, onwards and upwards.
Ain't like it used to be, but it'll do.
You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.